Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Players Own YouTube channel. And what a game we were treated to last night. Marco Reus's dream of a major trophy is still alive here for Borussia Dortmund as his side went through 1-0 winners last night over PSG, 2-0 in aggregate. And boy, was this a back and forth type affair. Players being thrown forward, chances galore for both sides. PSG hitting the woodwork so many more times. I think they hit the woodwork 6 or 8 times in this tie across their 64 shots on goal, which is just ridiculous, all the chances they had, but they couldn't put the ball into the back of the net. That was the difference in this game here. Quickly going through the game proceedings until we jump into some key storylines. Early proceedings, both teams had some opportunities. The biggest, I guess, the main chance early on in the game fell to Reusson, and his chance hit the side netting. That was the first real chance of danger early on. Dembele and Gonzalo Ramos had efforts go over the top of the crossbar just as we approached the half-hour mark, and PSG started to gain control of the game. That midfield was starting to dominate and dictate the possession, and I thought, oh, this was the way I thought we saw this game going. If PSG get this first hit, they could get a roll on and win this game of football, but it wasn't quite to be. Adeyemi broke away in the 35th minute, and I thought was absolutely going to score when he was one-on-one with Donnarumma, but he was smartly down to his left to get the ball out the back of the net. And that was a massive moment in the game there for PSG after a moment of dominance, a chance on a counter-attack for Borussia Dortmund, their avenue to goal for me. That was going to be their main way to score in this game, and it was denied quite smartly by Donnarumma. Vitinha then turned to his long-range efforts once again in the 42nd minute, testing Kobel, but it was easily quite saved there. And it was Fabian Ruiz in the 45th minute who had a strong effort on goal, which was heading towards a goal. Nico Schlotterbeck put his right leg out there and deflected, and it could have deflected anywhere, but luckily for Borussia Dortmund fans and the side, it deflected behind for a corner. And the second half, well, it was early chance for Zaire Emery. A flick on at the front post, fell to him at the back post, unmarked, but the distance and the angle was closing, and his effort came straight off the crossbar, straight off the upright there, and off him behind for a goal kick. And that was probably the biggest chance to that moment in time. Unmarked at the back post. Despite the angle being tight, you thought the young midfielder could have done a little bit better and got the ball in the back of the net there, especially considering there was no pressure on him to make that finish, but struck it straight off the upright. And they'd come back to hurt them as Mats Hummels would head Borussia Dortmund ahead in the 50th minute, unmarked from a corner kick, a great whip into the area there. And Beraldo, the man that was brought in for Hernandez and his injury, just didn't keep marking there on Mats Hummels, pushed him aside, and then an easy header rising up and heading it down into the back of the net to make it 1-0. And despite a real lack of control in the game, a real lack of chances, Borussia Dortmund would have taken that lead. And as I said in my predictions, if Dortmund scored first, I said it basically would be curtains to that game there. And with that all being said, PSG kept taking it though to Borussia Dortmund. Gonzalo Ramos fed Vitinha in the 65th minute and back to Gonzalo Ramos, but his effort was put over the bar once again. Nuno Mendes had a long-range effort, hit the upright in the 61st minute. And I tell you what, after that first goal went in, it was all PSG for the rest of the game. There was a few chances on the counter-attack for Julian Brandt, as well as Jadon Sancho, Nicholas Füllkrug breaking away, but nothing of real meaning, and it was all just PSG's dominance. A bit of interplay between Hakimi and Zaire Emery allowed Dembele to skip past his defender. Mats Hummels fouled him. There was questions about if it was in the box or on the line, or if it should have been a penalty or not. It was a free kick in the end, and that was quite poorly taken by Marco Asensio. And Mbappe was smartly denied by Kobel at the near post in the 80th minute. Lee came off the bench and was fabulous alongside Barcola. They were creating chances galore, but every time it seemed to feel like PSG couldn't find the back of the net. A great ball from Lee found Marquinhos, who flicked his effort wide of the cross, wide of the upright. Mbappe was denied by the crossbar in the 86th minute. Vitinha, once again, who was pivotal in this game for PSG, had a swerving effort which came off the crossbar as well. And that was in the 88th minute, and that's all she wrote basically for the game. So I know I've just overloaded the information there, but it was one of those back and forth type affairs. But I tell you what Borussia Dortmund did here. They weathered the storm, they weathered the punches, and they defended so smartly. It's come overnight, all the appreciation for Mats Hummels and what a season he's currently had, especially in the Champions League, being pivotal in these knockout stages. And once again, like he was in that first leg, unbeatable at the back. Him and Nicolas Schlotterbeck at their best. Not on paper the best centre-back duo, but right now, in terms of form, arguably the best centre-back duo in the Champions League. Defiant defending and then going up the other end and scoring a really pivotal goal. All there up to Mats Hummels, who's going to return after 12 years to Wembley once again for a Champions League final, and maybe once again might be against Bayern Munich. This man has been a stalwart of the club, 36 years old, but doesn't look a day past 24 with the way he's defending. Constant effort, constant intensity, and his ability to get a slide challenge in or a block in when you don't expect it has been the difference across these knockout stages. A real focal figure, a leader in the back line for Borussia Dortmund, which has been under man for a lot of the season. Reerson has had to elevate himself into an elite status. Ian Maatsen coming in January. Nicolas Schlotterbeck himself making quite the duo at the back there where Nicolas Sula has been in the past. So these two have really come out of nowhere, it sort of feels like, this Borussia Dortmund combination, but especially Mats Hummels with this goal in this game, everyone giving him the appreciation he arguably deserves as well. Somebody left for a bit and has come back to Borussia Dortmund, and I think what a way to top up his career as well with a Champions League final win, especially on the back of one of the great knockout type performances here, not only against Atletico Madrid, but also here versus PSG across the two legs. Defensive just acumen shown deluxe. It was fabulous effort. Once again, it always felt like whenever there was a shot or chance, Mats Hummels was there to put his body in the way or to put an attacker off or keep the defence on top. A leader, a real experienced veteran that just knew where to be at the right times and exposed the lack of experience there from the PSG new man coming in to score that goal for himself. Obviously, want to touch on the man Nicholas Füllkrug as well. Someone who I coming to the preview, I put a lot of pressure on him. And despite him not having much of the football, in big moments, he was a great hold-up option for Borussia Dortmund there as an outlet, someone to hold the ball up and keep possession for the side. I think he was fabulous in this game in doing the little 1%ers and working hard without the ball. And then obviously Kobel and goal alongside that midfield duo, Marcel Sabitzer and Emre Can, who in many regards that midfield duo was probably outplayed and outworked. But in the end of the day, they just kept going and going and going and kept putting pressure and holding up PSG as much as possible. For most second half, Borussia Dortmund were 10 deep into their own penalty area. They were all behind the ball. These two were pivotal in terms of keeping the chances away from the goal, massive clearances when they need to be. Some good possession in some important moments in time to hold the play up. And then obviously in goal, Kobel, some great saves, controlled the line well in some shaky moments, got the ball out when he needed to get the ball out as well, and was just good in that regard of just being no nonsense, not allowing anything to go past him, not making any mistakes in such a big an occasion, and really standing up for me and really showing why he's probably one of the top keepers in the world right now, especially in the Bundesliga, probably the best keeper outside of Manuel Neuer at the moment, and he's showing that he's in big games able to stand up and make these important choices and big saves. And then for me, someone not really talked about, but arguably was one of the man of the matches, was Julian Brandt. Again, someone who was very important for the counter-attacking style of football they were playing as a hold-up, as an outlet, but also defended really deep behind the ball, intercepting passes, becoming a midfield three alongside Marcel Sabitzer and Emre Can there. They really worked well in that trio there to hold PSG up, prevent them any real clear-cut opportunities. And I tell you what, if luck had gone his way, he might have had a goal as well on the counter-attack to cap off a great performance. But I feel like you can't really isolate anyone in this team. They were such a team performance, a workman-like performance, and it was a performance that screened a bit of, we can go and win this trophy here. We can game manage really well. And you saw they just found the right moment where Hummels could score that goal, and they defended fabulously for the rest of the game. I know PSG had a lot of opportunities, but you ride your luck a little bit in this competition. And it wasn't like they got exposed in the back line much. I think it was only once or twice Mbappe was able to spin in behind that back line there, despite the lack of pace in those two centre-backs. So it goes to show they just read the game so well, they managed the game so well, and absolutely deserved to go to the Champions League final there at Wembley. In terms of PSG, once again, a disappointment in the Champions League, but I feel like there's this uncredited sort of criticism going to Luis Enrique and his boys. A lot's been said about Mbappe and ghosting and this, that and the other. It wasn't his greatest performance. It hasn't been that great in the Champions League knockout stages, but it's very hard with this young group, and I said this throughout. It's a very young group, and I feel like there's a lot of players that stood up. Zaire Emery, despite missing that massive chance, was fabulous in this game for me, for PSG. Lee off the bench was fantastic, working in intricate areas and spreading the play, getting great balls into the area. Barkala off the bench changed the game for me. His dynamism, his ability to chop in on his right, go outside the bar line on his left, constantly involved with Mbappe, with the little 1-2s there as well. I feel like he really should have started ahead of Gonzalo Ramos or ahead of Dembele. He really changed the game when coming on. And then for me, the player of the game for PSG, and maybe for the whole game itself, was Vitinha. He was fabulous in that midfield there. Put a lot of pressure on him in my previews to be that guy for PSG, to hold that midfield up, to be that more aggressive midfield player, to push onto the edge of the area. And he walked onto the 88th minute chance really well. And the way he struck that ball, the swerve it had, it was hit the underside of the bar, but just didn't go into the back of the net. But this guy got so much caught in. So excited to see what he can do with either PSG or another big European club in the future, because this knockout stage has showed, and the Champions League itself has showed, how quality this guy is and how quality this midfield is. Fabio Ruiz, Vitinha and Zaire Emery. This is the future right now. These three are fantastic midfielders that are all dynamic, can run both ways. And for Vitinha, he's got that real X factor in the final third, which makes him a great number 8 to come in late to the box and hit a ball well, or to create a fantastic pass, a defence-splitting pass. He's got it all. I think he was fantastic in this game in terms of just looking at all 22 players in the park, probably the best out of them all, had the biggest impact in the game, controlled the game in moments, and was very unlucky not to score a goal or two in that game there as well. So that means now Borussia Dortmund make it to Wembley. They are into the UEFA Champions League final to either face a Real Madrid, the Champions League dominating side, or a rematch of 2012, I believe, Champions League final versus Bayern Munich. What a tie it would be if both German clubs make it to the final. But again, there's always that background story now that Marco Reus has announced he'll be leaving Borussia Dortmund come season's end. What a fairy tale end for Marco Reus if he can go in the Champions League with his Borussia Dortmund side right at the end here. What a story for Jadon Sancho, who was left training with the reserves for Manchester United, to go and join Borussia Dortmund to win a Champions League. What a story for Ian Maatsen, not chosen by Chelsea and Pochettino, to go mid-season to Borussia Dortmund and win a Champions League. What about Mats Hummels, the experienced 36-year-old that's performed fantastically in the knockout stages in the Champions League and just in general this season for Borussia Dortmund, to go and win a Champions League title at age 36 and tick that off your box as well. What a chance for Nicholas Füllkrug, who joins the club this season, to go and win a Champions League. Has been so pivotal throughout their league and Champions League seasons, as scoring important goals in important moments. And what a chance for the young stars, Adeyemi, Bono, Gittins. Look at Marcel Sabitzer, Emre Can in the midfield. What a chance for these players to add a massive piece of silverware to their career and go and win it here with Borussia Dortmund. It feels like the good feel story is Dortmund winning this Champions League, and I feel like the confidence from doing it against Atleti and now PSG, two different teams that play two different styles of football, the resilience to stay with it away from home in the first leg versus Atletico Madrid and keep the game tight, then to go win it at home coming from behind, to control this game versus PSG and show some real game management, winning this game 2-0, not allowing PSG with Kylian Mbappe, Barkala, Gonzalo Ramos, Ousmane Dembele to score any goals across 180 minutes. That goes to show a lot of props this Borussia Dortmund side, and in the group stage, well, getting the group of death and finishing top of the group of death. So they've done a lot. They've ticked a lot of boxes off in the Champions League this season, and wouldn't it just top it off to be a fantastic season? They're going to win the Champions League. Now that there's 5 spots in the Bundesliga, they've almost automatically qualified for the Champions League next season. So you can take a rest in the Bundesliga in the final 3 games and focus on this Champions League final to come in about a month's time now. So very, very exciting for them. And what a story will go and turn out to be if they can get it done. Once again, what a performance last night. A 1-0 win, a character-defining win. Mats Hummels, the player right now for Borussia Dortmund. Some great stories. Marco Reus coming off the bench to produce as well. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Do you think that Borussia Dortmund can go all the way now and win the UEFA Champions League final at Wembley? Or do you reckon, as underdogs versus either Bayern Munich or Real Madrid, they just get beaten up and they get shown levels? Because look on paper, this team is nowhere near the quality of those 2 teams. It probably wasn't close to the PSG team in terms of quality, but they've got over the line now twice in 2 different fashions in the quarterfinal and the semi-final. Can they go and win another way here in the final? We can all wait to be seen, but very, very exciting times. Congratulations to Borussia Dortmund making it to the UEFA Champions League final. Cannot wait for that final. I want it to come now. I feel like so much momentum currently with the Champions League. Just want it to be here and now and watch that final. With that all being said, ladies and gents, I hope you enjoyed this reaction video. Please make sure to smash a like on it if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to the Players Zone channel if you're interested in podcast reaction and analytical videos, prediction videos, all the like about all football action, it'll live here on the channel. Make sure to press that post notification bell also so you know when I upload my podcast or any other videos in the channel. And share the channel with mates who would enjoy this type of content. That would be much appreciated. We're on the roll. We're going for 500 subscribers before the start of the Euro. So if you can join us, that would be much appreciated for this journey. With that all being said, ladies and gents, I hope you enjoyed the game last night. Enjoyed tonight's game, Bayern Munich and Real Madrid from the Bernabeu. And I hope you have a great rest of your day. Till next time, guys. See you later.